Tonight on Acadiana's News Channel, the latest on the disappearance of Mickey Shunick. The search area now expands outside of Lafayette. Jim Hummel with volunteers in St. Martin Parish.
And a ride of solidarity. Elizabeth Hill is with friends and loved ones as they hit the road in an effort to take back the streets of Lafayette. The latest right now on KATC.
You're watching KATC TV3, Acadiana's News Channel at 10. Now in high definition.
Good evening, everyone. Now almost 5 days since she disappeared. Still no sign of Mickey Shunick.
The 22-year-old UL student was last seen Saturday. She was riding her bike around 2 a.m. from a friend's house in the St. Street area of Lafayette, heading home to Ambassador Caffrey and Congress Street, but she never made it.
A $25,000 reward is offered for information that brings Mickey home. A tip line remains active. If you have any information, call 291-8633 or get in touch with Lafayette Police. Investigators say that tip line will stay open until they stop getting phone calls. And
with each passing hour and day, the search intensifies. Jim Hummel kicks off our team coverage in Lafayette. Jim.
Well, we are live along Ryan Street in Lafayette. This is, of course, where Mickey was last seen early Saturday morning. But over the past several days, this is also the spot where hundreds of volunteers have gathered to join in that massive search effort. And tonight we caught up with some of those volunteers as they took that search outside of Lafayette. Among the beauty of Lake Martin, a sign of a case that's haunted the community.
How many boats do we have total?
It's here where 24 volunteers came to search for possible evidence. They were led by Mickey's friend, Travis Cox.
And I'm pretty sure, there's been somebody who's searched out here, but why not, go public with it and get more eyes, get more, boats in the water.
And that's just what they did. From kayaks to powerboats, the volunteers crisscrossed Lake Martin. Lake Martin is about 10 miles away from Ryan Street in Lafayette, where Mickey Shunick was last seen early Saturday morning. The volunteers who are out here say they came out here not on any particular tip. They just wanted to cover all of their bases and search for that one clue which might bring Mickey home.
Praying we don't find her, looking for clues.
We were out there with Eric Robichaud of Bro Bridge. We didn't see much, but did see plenty of others, all searching for clues in a beautiful place, but caught in the wake of a terrifying story that's touched so many. We've seen dozens of people out here. Many of them know Mickey. You don't even know Mickey. Why'd you come out here?
Just to help out. I mean, I don't know the family. I don't know her. I never met her. I don't know none of her family, but when I seen it on Facebook, on your website, I said, look, I'm going to help out. I'm going to see what I could do.
Now, nothing was found in that search tonight. So for these countless volunteers, family, friends, and also strangers, the search goes on. Three's on the Street tonight, reporting live in Lafayette. I'm Jim Hummel, KATC TV3.
Thank you, Jim. And the search for Mickey is expanding far beyond Acadiana. Friends drove all the way to Brownsville, Texas to spread the word about Mickey's disappearance. They visited several law enforcement agencies, posting flyers and talking to officers near the Texas-Louisiana border. They say it is just one more precaution they could take.
Cyclists met at Park Sans Souci tonight for a ride of solidarity, riding the route Mickey likely would have taken the night she disappeared.
Elizabeth Hill continues our team coverage tonight. Elizabeth, what was the goal of the ride tonight?
Tonight's ride was not only to honor Mickey, but also a chance for the cycling community to come together and take back the road.
That need for adventure and riding and the wind in your face, I don't know, it really embodies who she is.
Friends say Mickey loved riding her bike, but didn't always feel comfortable riding in certain areas or at certain times.
Mickey wasn't okay with being hollered at, being harassed, being honked at, feeling unsafe.
Her disappearance has been a rude awakening for the Lafayette cycling community.
It's a tragic reminder, but yeah, it kind of opened everybody's eyes, I think.
Whatever state of safety that we felt, that's gone, and it's up to us to take that back.
Even people that didn't know Mickey gathered for tonight's ride to show support for a fellow rider. Friends hope the ride will help keep spirits high and thoughts positive.
Just to kind of get a sense for what maybe she was feeling that night, and I don't know, just to kind of have that connection.
Mickey wasn't afraid. She was strong, and she had what it takes to bike at night. And we're going to make it so that no one has to have that happen to him again.
Cyclists I spoke with tonight say it's scary to think that something like this could have happened to any of them. Reporting live in Lafayette, Elizabeth Hill, KATC TV3.
Thank you, Elizabeth. A benefit concert for Mickey is scheduled for Sunday, May 27th at Park International in downtown Lafayette. The first band yet to be announced will start at 5:30 Sunday afternoon, with Lafayette's own Givers closing out the concert at 7. The suggested donation admission is $15, but all monetary donations will be accepted.
We've created a page on our website with all the information regarding this search for Mickey Shunick and how you can contribute to the search effort.
Visit KATC.com and click the Searching for Mickey Shunick icon at the top of the homepage.
Here's Rob's 24-hour forecast.
Lots of sunshine today and rain chances down. That's the way it's going to go again for tomorrow. Overnight tonight, nice and quiet out there, almost pleasant. Temperatures on your 24-hour forecast will bring us down to about 70 to 72 for a low. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, punctuated just by a few cumulus clouds. Temperatures topping out in the upper 80s, and it's going to be breezy tomorrow afternoon, so that'll take a little bit of an edge off the heat. How will it go as we head into the weekend? We'll talk more about that and have a tropical update coming up later in the show.
In other news, Lafayette police are investigating an overnight murder. Investigators say they found the body of 22-year-old Isaiah Morgan of Lafayette in the street at the intersection of Goldman and Davidson just after midnight. Police say Morgan was arguing with the suspect, and the suspect pulled out a gun and shot him before running away. Anyone with information on the suspect's identity is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 232-TIPS. Meanwhile, 2 men are recovering after another late-night shooting in Lafayette. It happened just before midnight at a bar in the 4800 block of West Congress. Investigators say an argument between 2 men spilled out into the parking lot just before the suspect got a gun from his vehicle. He shot the victim. Police say the suspect then shot himself in the chest. The victim is in stable condition, while the suspect in critical condition tonight.
St. Landry Parish investigators say a suspect shot at a deputy during a traffic stop on I-49. The deputy was not hit, but police did arrest the suspect, Charles Martin of Oberlin, charging him with attempted first-degree murder of a police officer. The deputy is on paid administrative leave while state police investigate.
And here's a look at more news our reporters have covered around Acadiana.
I'm KATC's Aaron Stuber. A hearing has been set for May 29th to decide if a temporary restraining order will be granted to 5 Lafayette police officers. It all stems from an internal investigation which the officers say was retaliation and against the rules. The restraining order and lawsuit were filed against Lafayette Police Chief Jim Kraft, Major George Jackie Alfred, Lafayette Consolidated Government, and CAO D. Stanley.
I'm KATC's Stephen Albert, and I'm in Bill Platt, where the Giglio family is attempting to clear their name. The Giglios are suing Child Protective Services, Louisiana State Police, the foster parents of the children, and a woman who, using Facebook, spearheaded a boycott against the restaurant.
You know, we're in the process of possibly closing our business. I've lost millions of dollars.
I'm KATC's Chris Welty at Northside High School, where the junior ROTC program may be cut. Nearly 77 students participate in this program each and every school year, and on June 6th, the Lafayette Parish School Board will have a meeting to decide whether or not to keep the program. We did reach out to Principal Voorhees, but she was unavailable for comment.
And for more information on the possible cut of Northside's ROTC program, head over to our website, KATC.com. State education officials say the percentage of Louisiana public school students reaching basic achievement level on standardized tests grew from 66% to 68% this year. Superintendent of Education John White says the 2% increase means roughly 10,000 more students are performing at grade level this year than last.
After a chemical plant fire in Port Allen, US 190 has been reopened, and the mandatory evacuation of residents within a mile of that plant has been lifted. Officials are still cleaning up the wreckage left behind from Monday's fire at El Liquide.
Facebook's 4th day of trading saw the stock climb $1 to close at $32. That's still below its initial $38 price. Meanwhile, several shareholders who bought stock have filed lawsuits against Facebook, its executives, and underwriter Morgan Stanley, saying they were misled.
The director of the Secret Service spoke publicly for the first time today since the prostitution scandal that overshadowed President Obama's summit in Colombia. That scandal erupted in April following an argument over a payment between a Colombian prostitute and her Secret Service officer customer. It turns out a dozen agents had spent the night drinking heavily and soliciting prostitutes before the president arrived in Colombia. Testifying before the Senate Homeland Security Committee, Director Mark Sullivan apologized for the agent's behavior and said it does not represent the majority of the people working for the Secret Service.
The thought or the notion that this type of behavior is condoned or authorized is just absurd. In my opinion, I never one time had any supervisor or any other agent tell me that this type of behavior is condoned.
So far, 3 have been cleared of serious wrongdoing. 8 officers have been forced out, but 2 of them are fighting to keep their jobs.
It's been all the buzz among book lovers. Tonight, we take a look at the psychological impact a book like 50 Shades of Grey may have.
That's after Rob's True View forecast for where you live. We'll be right back.
From the KATC Weather Lab, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Lots of sunshine in the forecast over the next couple of days. A nice breeze tomorrow and Friday. That breeze diminishes this weekend. That means it's going to be hotter. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. First, a quick look at Power Doppler HD revealing quiet conditions across the area. Titan 3D also indicating much the same after some action off to the east. And we'll show you that on the radar satellite composite. And as we put it in motion, we got some pretty active storms up across the high plains associated with a cool front that won't be reaching us. Unfortunately, some severe weather possible across portions of Nebraska into Minnesota as well. Meanwhile, the Gulf relatively quiet with the exception of that one feature that we were watching yesterday, and as expected, showers and storms firing up mainly Baton Rouge on eastward to New Orleans. A couple of reports of wind damage over toward Araby, and also a few other pockets where we did see some hail and some very heavy rainfall, but that was well to the east of Acadiana. No shower activity close to home, and that's the way it should be over the next 48 hours at the very least. 89 the high this afternoon after a morning start at 72, so numbers at or a shade above normal, but we didn't hit 90 today, and that was courtesy of that nice breeze out of the south. That breeze has diminished to nearly calm conditions, 75 degrees right now, and a steady barometer, good visibility, not expecting fog tonight. Nice dry atmosphere in place, even though we have some Gulf moisture moving in. That may manifest in a few clouds, especially over southwest Louisiana. Most of us in the mid-70s at this hour, 73 in New Iberia, 75 in Lafayette. And as we open it on up, we see that upper level low over the east coast of the U.S. and a trailing spoke. That's what pretty much ignited the storms this afternoon off to our east. A little bit of a cold pocket of air aloft there. Meanwhile, out in the Pacific, got a tropical storm Bud out here in the Pacific. That may be heading toward Mexico. And we have an area of interest once again in the northwest Caribbean. Lots of heavy rainfall across Cuba. No real low pressure center on this system, but the National Hurricane Center has been running its tropical models and are keying in on some slight development possible over the, say, the Bahamas or South Florida right now. Not much to go on, and we won't have to worry about this system. The westerlies should stay quite active as we go into the first couple of days of June, so if anything were to develop, it would affect Florida, perhaps the east coast of the U.S. down the line, but not a major threat at this point. A weak tropical system at best. So as we look at our future cast, fair skies overnight tonight. Tomorrow we'll start off with sunny skies, and again, we'll just go with fair to partly cloudy conditions for the afternoon, with temperatures topping out well into the 80s, and by this time tomorrow evening we'll favor back down into the mid-70s. Few more clouds late tomorrow night and into early Friday. Notice the winds tomorrow. This is your future cast wind product. Gusty south to southwest winds at about 15 to 25, more than likely through tomorrow afternoon, so that'll take the edge off the heat. And once again on Friday, and why is that happening? Well, the water temperatures out in the Gulf of Mexico, they have warmed up into the lower 80s, but when we get a nice breeze off of the Gulf of Mexico, that helps cool us down, especially as you get closer to the coast, so that trend will continue likely through Friday. So overnight tonight, 70 or low, a quiet night out there. Then for tomorrow, we'll get back up to about 88 or 89 for a high with lots of sunshine. And then as we go down the road into the weekend, temperatures creep into the lower 90s, overnight lows in the lower 70s. Rain chances slight at best. Sunday and Monday might see a pop-up shower or a storm. Better rain chances come the middle part of next week.
Okay, Rob.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Still to come, reading a racy book like 50 Shades of Grey, are there psychological impacts?
Plus, some students are able to beat the heat to celebrate their accelerated reading skills. As we showed you last night, the book 50 Shades of Grey is flying off of store shelves.
As you surely know by now, it is a controversial bestseller featuring sexually explicit themes, which some say skirts a fine line between erotica and pornography. KATC's Janice Fernandez tonight explores the psychological impact.
Chapter after chapter, page after page, 50 Shades of Grey features explicit sex scenes between the two main characters.
The sexually explicit material involves a lot of overt descriptions of, bondage and domination and kind of sort of really violent behavior.
Assistant psychology professor at UL Lafayette, Dr. Amy Brown, says books like 50 Shades of Grey may blur the lines between pleasure and pain.
A lot of psychological research has shown that when people are exposed to particularly violent pornography, then it has really damaging effects on their attitudes towards women, their attitudes about violence against women.
On one hand, Dr. Brown worries men could become more callous in their sexual relationships, and on the other, women more accepting of violent behavior.
I think that's where kind of the real danger of a book like this comes, is that the people who read it, if their attitudes change about, what is rape, then they may be more, prone to blame victims of rape.
But Dr. Brown believes the BDSM lifestyle isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as it's consensual and those involved set boundaries.
People express their sexuality in a lot of different ways. We all differ in the things that kind of arouse us and excite us. What I think could be potentially problematic with, women and men reading this book and wanting to kind of act out some of the stuff in it is that if they sort of skip that step where they establish that safety and consensuality.
But on the flip side, Brown believes 50 Shades of Grey is getting women to talk openly about sex.
I think that people should be talking about it. People should be openly communicating with each other to avoid misunderstandings.
In Lafayette, Janice Fernandez, KATC, TV3.
Accelerated readers were rewarded today at Mermentau Elementary.
Students who attain a star reading level left the books and hit the water slide today. 58 students got in on the fun after reaching their grade level reading goal. This is an ongoing effort to keep kids reading at the school.
Excited about our kids reading. We feel like it really helps promote the love of reading and helps increase our test scores. Our students this year have read over 6,000 books this school year.
Well, it is time for sports, and it certainly seems that one UL athletic team is on the right track.
That's right.
Yeah.
I write the jokes around here.
Yeah, you do.
You
Talk
good,
about
baby.
UL
You
track
good.
and field coming up next in sports. Lamson Park has become a virtual black hole for opponents of late. The last 5 years, just 10 losses at home for UL softball. That home field advantage was evident this past weekend in the Ragin' Cajuns regional championship. But if UL wants to garner a Super Regionals crown, it will have to become road warriors. From here on out, UL softball will be road tripping. First stop, Tempe, Arizona. The Cajuns voyage to Arizona State. It's the second longest trip for any team in the Super Regional field. While home has been sweet for the Ragin' Cajuns, UL believes it doesn't need Lamson Park to keep its quest for OKC alive.
We just have to go in there like as a team, as one unit, having each other's back and just blocking everything else out. Always helps whenever you're here playing, whenever you have fans, but it's not really going to be a factor when we get there because we, as our team together, we know that we have confidence in each other to pull together.
UL Track and Field will send 15 athletes to Jacksonville this weekend for the East Regional meet, the most in more than a decade. Andy Burrell has more on the Cajun track turnaround.
UL men's track and field program has been turned around thanks to the help from Coach Lon Badeau. The Cajuns, fresh off a second-place finish at the Sun Belt Championships, will head down to Florida for regionals and look for more.
He came in with a lot of expectations. He told me what he wanted out of me. I gave it to him. The number one thing, though, he's kept faith in me, and he told me to just be, go out there, do what I'm supposed to do, and everything else will fall into place.
That relationship between player and coach has been huge in building this year's men's track and field program.
Well, I saw the team come from one of, hey, what are we kind of doing here, to just a belief. They now believe that they're good, and it showed a couple weeks, last weekend.
Last weekend, the Cajuns finished second at the SBC Championships, and this week they're sending 15 total members to the regional prelims in Florida.
Coming off last weekend and doing well and having that many go to regionals, and all of a sudden I'm getting calls all over the place. Hey, can I come be a part of that? And that's what, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, you kind of start some tradition back, and people want to be involved with it.
That's great for this year's team, but it's also a building block for the program's future. Reporting with the Cajuns, I'm Andy Burrell, KATC TV3 Sports.
Also at the East Regionals will be Georgia freshman pole vaulter Morgan Lola. It's been quite the freshman campaign for the Catholic High product. Lola recently won the SEC title over at LSU with a jump of 14 feet 6 3/4 inches. That marked currently the 4th best American jump this year. She was named the SEC Women's Field Freshman Athlete of the Year. She has the top jump of the East Regional field and will look to better her 2nd place national finish from the indoor championships earlier this season. After a few weeks of speculation, the Sun Belt made it official. UT Arlington has accepted an invitation to join the conference in 2013, giving the Sun Belt 12-member institutions once again after suffering losses due to realignment. Sun Belt Conference Tournament baseball underway. Today from Bowling Green, the team that dealt the Cajuns their final blow, ULM keeps rolling. Warhawks beat South Al in 10 innings, 7-4. Arkansas State all over Middle Tennessee. Nightcap, FAU, walk-off fashion in 9 over Western Kentucky. Speaking of conference tournaments, LSU opening play in Hoover for the SEC tourney. The top-seeded Tigers draw Mississippi State scoreless in the 3rd. Bulldogs break through. Adam Frazier base knock drives in a run. State adds another in the frame to go up 2-0. Tigers respond in the 5th. Full count, 2 out, 2 on. Mason Katz comes through in the clutch. The first baseman laces one to left. Austin Nola, Jacoby Jones score. We're tied at 2, but the Bulldogs answer right back. DeMarcus Henderson drives in the go-ahead and winning run. LSU falls 3-2. Tigers will face Ole Miss tomorrow at 9:30 in an elimination game. And finally up to the bigs, former Ragin' Cajun Jonathan Lucor continues his big week. His Brewers hosting the Giants. Milwaukee a 6th spot in the 1st. Luke Croy keeps things going in the 2nd. Here a 2-run blast, his 5th of the year and his 3rd of the week. 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 ribbies for Luke Croy. Milwaukee holds off a late charge to take down San Francisco 8-5. So it looks like Jonathan Lucroy is well settled into the major leagues now.
Oh, yeah, doing well.
And that's sports. Thanks a lot, Travis. Stay with us. Back to you.
Well, look for another nice one tomorrow. Very breezy during the afternoon. That'll keep our temperatures on the cool side of 90 if there's anything such as that. 89, 90 on Friday, and lower 90s this weekend. Pretty good Memorial Day looking weekend.
There is a cooler side of 90 for sure.
That's it for 10 o'clock, everybody.
See you tomorrow. Good night.